this man that we're on board with now as the start is behind the safety car. The race has effectively started. As you can see, the clock ticking down, but we are behind the safety car. So Ayhan Guven then, who bested Larry Tenvoorde and Lauren Heinrich to P1 on the grid. I thought that was a remarkable achievement.
Now look at that sky. I don't think we've seen the last of the rain yet. We're going to have a quick look at the starting grid, and as Dave mentioned, Ayhan Guven on pole position. Larry Tenvoorde, the man who won 2 out of 2 last time out, is second, ahead of Lauren Heinrich, who was second in 2 races last time out. Then it's Max van Splunteren and Leon Köhler, ahead of Luke Hartog and Rudy van Buren on row 4 alongside Jesse van Kuijk. And row 5, Maurice Schuring, the young driver for Team GP Elite. Christopher Zerkling, who's made a very successful return to Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, ahead of Julian Hanses and Lucas Groneveld. Dan Van Kuijk and Yuka Honkavori occupy row 7 ahead of Sandra Kaibach and Bastian Buss, another of the young chargers who are coming up through the ranks. Row 9, the leading contender in the Pro-Am category, Carlos Rivas, who's also the defending champion, head of Sisignola, Rudolf Rien and Texera, then Jan-Erik Sluten and Bashar Mardini. Row 12, Kim Andre Hauschild and Georgi Donchev, with row 13, Christoph Langer, Sebastian Glazer, and then Ahmed Al-Shahab bringing up the rear of the field after a fairly traumatic time in qualifying. Our pole sitter though, Ayhan Guven, we're looking back at Carlos Rivas there, who is the leader of the Pro-Am category and also the defending Pro-Am champion. Ayhan Guven, our pole sitter, the first ever Turkish driver to score a pole position in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany.
Wow, that's interesting. Carlos Rivas then, I love that onboard shot of the driver hard at work, and you can see the focus on his eyes then. As I, at the risk of repeating myself, the race has started. It started behind the safety car. My reckoning is that the safety car will remain out for this lap, but this lap only before it comes in again. So it will have effectively done 2 laps, Brian. And I think it will gradually increase its pace over this lap, and then at the conclusion of this lap will peel off. I might be wrong. It's pure guesswork on my part, but I think 2 laps behind the safety car, the drivers will know what the conditions are like, and they will be able to run with that. And Ayhan Guven, Larry Tenvoorde, Lauren Heinrich and Max van Splunteren, ahead of Leon Köhler, Luke Hartog, Rudy van Buren, Jesse van Kuijk. Then it is Maurice Schuring and Christopher Zerkling.
One of the things that we were saying earlier was that it was absolutely teeming down with rain, but we believe only on parts of the track. As you can see, the circuit's looking pretty dry there, and that gives the drivers a real headache because they're running from wet track to dry track, trying not to take too much out of the tyres as well, trying not to end up in the gravel trap, and it really does test their driving skills to the max.
I think the wet is out sort of towards, as we look at it out of our commentary window, is towards the right of the circuit, and I'm talking about the likes of turns 11 and 12, maybe 13, 14, that end of the track, or unless I've got that completely wrong. You can see there the track surface conditions changing.
Look at that there, you can see how wet that is. And Larry Tenvoorde, this is the kind of start he probably didn't want because he is an absolute demon at getting out of the blocks quickly. And Ayhan Guven is going to have the legs on him to start this race. These cars are so equal, getting past the car in front is not the work of a moment.
Having seen the conditions there, I'm now beginning to doubt my earlier statement that I thought the safety car would come in at the end of this lap. I think it'll stay out there for a little while yet, perhaps.
Well, I'm presuming these cars are all starting on dry weather tyres, even though it's been declared a wet race.
And that is an assumption. That was a question I was going to put to you. As we're on board with Jan-Erik Sluten, that, you know, if you were a team principal, if you were a driver, what tyres would you elect for? Really, really difficult. I suspect you're right that most are on slick tyres because the greater majority of the lap is dry at the moment.
You're just going to, if you put wets on, you're going to tear those tyres up for probably 2/3 of the lap. As we look back, is that Jan-Erik Sluten? Yes, it is. We're looking back on trying to get the heat into the tyres, and again, that's going to be difficult because you get the heat into the tyres on the dry part of the track, get onto the wet part, and it cools them down again.
And that is the thing, to keep wet weather tyres in their operating window, they have to be cooled. And that's why you see, when it is a wet race but a drying track, drivers dive for the puddles, don't they? They're looking for the moisture on the track to keep those tyres in their operating window.
It's a great view there of the Oschersleben Motorsport Arena. Just to tell you a little bit about where we are.
Please.
We are on the eastern outskirts of the town of Oschersleben, around 20 miles southwest of Magdeburg, which is a beautiful town, city, I don't know, region. We're about 70. I've had the look. 77 miles from Leipzig Airport, and a similar distance from Hanover Airport. This circuit, one of the shorter circuits on the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany calendars. It is 3.667 kilometers around, 14 turns to the left, 7 to the right, and as you can see, the safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap, and we will be ready to go racing. Larry Tenforder will be snapping at the heels of Ayhan Guven to try and get the jump, and try and get the jump on him in this one. We see the signs up there saying penalty zone.
That, of course, is for the... Yeah,
but that's the GT Masters.
It's just, I've sussed where it is. You mentioned in Leipzig Airport, Hanover Airport. Why is it you flew me to Berlin?
Yeah. Now, we've had a problem here. Now, who is that? That is the number 14 car of Ahmed Ahmed Al-Shahab, and he's having a mare of a weekend at the moment. So was at the back anyway, and in the I'm just looking to see which category is in. Number 14 car in the Pro-Am category, but really struggling a little bit. Right. Back to the present. We're heading towards the shell curve, and here we go. Ayhan Guven leading the field away. The clock is running. We've got less than 23 minutes left already, and we are about to go into green flag conditions.
Tenforder is going to try and anticipate when Guven gives it 100% on the loud pedal, which he has done, but Tenforder did not anticipate it as brilliantly as I expected. They've left Lauren Heinrich a little bit, but it was a good start from Ayhan Guven, who has had to start from the safety car. So as the cars head into the hotel turn, for the first time of asking really, although they have been behind the safety car, everyone will try and jostle for positions now. But Ayhan Guven then, who is able to see off any charge from Larry Tenforder right at the start of the race. Now Tenforder on the curbs, looking for a perhaps an opening on the inside, which of course would become the outside for the next turn. Looking back from the Ayhan Guven car on Larry Tenforder, who really is now just beginning to find where he wants to position that car. He, of course, is being hassled by Lauren Heinrich at the same time. So this a great onboard shot from the Tenforder car, as Larry is just looking at where the space is. He's perhaps going to use this lap as something of a sighting lap, Brian.
And Christopher Zirkling coming through on the inside as well. We saw him a little bit further back there, looking to the inside of Morris Schuring. So that's for P9. Ayhan Guven in the Larry Tenforder really eager to get past in the early stages of this race, as we see one car going wide. That is, didn't quite catch who that was, but one of them going wide. But Larry Tenforder eager to get past early on while he's got fresh rubber on the car. Now, one of the things that Larry Tenforder had an issue with last year was going too hard too soon in a race and having the tyres go off in the latter part, but he needs to get a move on here, because Ayhan Guven is going to take a lot of getting past. Lauren Heinrich must be fed up to the back teeth of that view. He spent the whole of Spa staring at the back of Larry Tenforder's car, and once again he is doing that, but this time it's for third and not second.
So, Ayhan Guven then doing a good job and not threatened at the moment by Larry Tenforder. It will only be a question of time, I feel sure, but it's going to be a real short sprint this race now, following the laps behind the safety car as they all head into turn number 1. And Tenforder and Guven and Heinrich breaking away a little bit from Max van Splunter, and then it's Leon Köhler. Luke Hartog, Christopher Zirkling, as you said, is making moves. He's up into P8. Put himself ahead of Morris Schuring. Ahead of him is Rudy van Buren. And then it is Jesse van Koik, who is dropped down the order to P10 now. So
that's Leon Köhler there, coming under pressure from Luke Hartog, who is the leading junior driver, and Hartog has proven himself to be very useful already. He picked up a 7th and a 9th at Spa, which probably wasn't reflective on his performance actually. So Luke Hartog in P6, putting a lot of pressure on Leon Köhler and Van Buren in P7 just behind them.
Hartog, of course, a member of the Porsche talent pool, and therefore wants to squeeze and make that Leon Curler gap big enough for Luke Hartog to go through, and he did that. That was really, really aggressive. Hartog out on the curbs there. You could see how wet it was there.
I know. I have to say that Leon Kohler was playing it risky, going through that wet patch on the runoff area, the painted bit. But did you see Hartog hanging the back end out?
Super.
Proper drifting round the corner. I have to say Zirkling is looking very eager. The number 27 car down in P8. He's had a couple of third places, but he is looking like a man on the move.
Zirkling, of course, is hugely experienced, isn't he? He knows how to drive these cars. This, then, as Hartog put himself ahead of Curler, and then Curler all the way across the runoff area.
On the water. And Jan-Erik Sluten, that's down in P20, getting past, is that Teixeira that he was working past? That's the number 19 car, yes it is, of Antonio Teixeira. And that was a position that he's gained. Ayhancan Guven now coming under attack from Larry Tenforder. Unbelievably, we're approaching the halfway distance of this race already because that safety car start. Larry Tenforder is showing us 0.3 of a second behind, but clearly that is changing on every corner. And Tenforder really turning the heat up, trying to pressure Ayhancan Guven into a mistake, maybe on the wet part of the circuit. If he can get him to go wide, Tenforder will be through. He doesn't need much of an invitation. Closes up under braking, but Ayhancan Guven getting it sideways. And now Lauren Heinrich joining in as well. This is great stuff.
It's going to be a three-way fight for P1, isn't it? But credit to Guven, who held onto that car sideways, drifting it. And Tenforder thus far has not really been able to put as much pressure on him as I thought he would be able to. They are both leaving Lauren Heinrich a little bit, but Heinrich over Splunterin is a huge margin. And look at this massive train of Porsche Carrera Cup Germany cars from P4 onwards. And you're absolutely right to identify Christopher Zirkling as one of those that is making progress up the road.
So Leon Kohler, Zirkling, Hartog all together now. That looks like Hartog and Zirkling are fighting with each other. There is our leader. The first three had broken away, and it does look like Heinrich is dropping back into the clutches of Van Splinteren a little bit. But I think Larry Tenforder closer than ever,
yes.
And looking eager. Just to remind you, these cars are all identical. The only thing that's different between them is setup, ride height, camber, that kind of thing. It's down to driving skill, which is what makes this series so spectacular, because it really brings out the driver's skill. And there are none more skilled than Larry Tenforder, who is putting everything he's got into getting past Ayhancan Guven.
And in so doing sets the fastest lap at 1:33.019 in quite challenging conditions. So yes, he is putting the pressure on Guven, but I'm being very impressed by Ayhancan here, who is soaking up that pressure from Larry Tenforder, and currently the P1, 2, 3 positions are as they are. Now, Christopher Zirkling, who's fighting with Luke Hartog and Leon Curler. There he is in the number 27 car, just the back end of that car stepping out a little bit as well. Beautifully controlled as he takes a look at the inside, but that door is firmly closed on him. You're not coming through there, friend, was said by Luke Hartog. So great, whichever way we look here, but it is Guven from Tenforder, from Heinrich, Van Splinteren, Leon Curler, who is up to P5, Luke Hartog losing out, and Christopher Zirkling now on the inside.
Brilliant stuff. I would just say that in the driver's briefing, a lot of attention has been drawn to two things. One is track limits, and that's something we get fed up of hearing almost, because so many drivers are getting penalised for track limits, both at Spa a couple of weeks ago and here in qualifying, a number of laps that were disallowed, but also the stewards are clamping down on weaving. More than one change of direction to defend is not permitted, and that's something that Luke Hartog is going to have to bear in mind as he fights off the attentions of Christopher Zirkling, and that's Leon Kohler with the number 24 car of Max Van Splinteren, and they're together on the track. Luke Hartog joining. Look at this lot, all in a queue.
we were watching Yuka Hunkavuri as well. Now on to the inside, Leon Köhler. He's just pushed into that a little bit by Luke Hartog as well, making a little bit of contact. Van Splunderen runs a bit wide, picks up a bit of grass. That will have unsettled the car. Look at this train of cars all fighting over P4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This is wonderful stuff, isn't it? The lead three have broken away, but this is quite a battle for fourth place. Köhler really putting the heat on Max Van Splunderen, but any mistake by any of these drivers, there's going to be a whole train that comes through in the wake, because they are so close together. Our leading Pro-Am driver at the moment is Carlos Rivas. He's down in P18, but he's at the front of his category as we continue to look at Köhler putting the heat on Max Van Splunderen, who in turn has been pressured by Luke Hartog. Christopher Zirkling looking very racy, and now that is Morris Schuring, who wrestles his way past Christopher Zirkling on the outside of the hotel turn. How is he going to keep that on the track? With great difficulty is the answer, because he drops back and Christopher Zirkling holds on to that position, but Morris Schuring, what a great little fight from him.
Zirkling just kept his cool there, didn't he, and pointed it in the right direction, thought I've got confidence in what the grip affords me, and still he's pressuring Hartog ahead of him. What a great race we're seeing from the Carrera Cup Germany here. The race, may I say, which is being led by Ayanchan Guven. We're not looking at the race leaders at the moment because there's so much going on behind in this battle for P4, P5, P6, P7. Look at them, 4 cars virtually welded together here, and we have merely 13.5 minutes of this race remaining.
Oh, this could go on all afternoon. This is great stuff. As once again, Christopher Zirkling, he hasn't been in this series since 2017. He stepped back into it like he's never been away. And Morris Schuring, though. So we're building up Zirkling, but Schuring is in there as well. Morris Schuring, just to remind you, the young driver in the talent pool. And he is mixing it with the big guys. Max Van Splunderen coming under pressure. Now Luke Hartog comes through, the leading junior driver. And this is going to be for position. Luke Hartog relegating Max Van Splunderen, and here comes Leon Köhler following in his wake as well. This could go any direction.
Yuka Hunkavuri in the number 41 car wants to join in this 6-7 way party as well. So much going on here. Brilliant. Also in the mix is Julian Hanses, young driver that I think is enormously talented, and so do Porsche because he's a member of the talent pool as well.
The Team GP elite drivers, they might be teammates, but that's in name only. They're rubbing against each other, but Zirkling is separating them now. The front of that queue, the very impressive Luke Hartog, and he is a real star of the future. In fact, he's a star of the present. We see him there leading that little pack and holding off Leon Köhler, who is quite experienced in this category in comparison to Hartog, but really has nothing for him at the moment.
Wow, what a few laps that has been.
Brilliant.
And whilst all that's been going on, Ayanchan Guven has managed to hold on to that 7/10 margin he's got over Larry Ten Voorde. And it's about the same from Ten Voorde back to Lauren Heinrich. But as you can see, the top 3 have just disappeared, because here is Luke Hartog, then it's Max Van Splunderen, then it's Leon Köhler, Schuring, Zirkling, Hanses, Van Buren, Honkavori, Van Koik, Buse, Grenefeld. I haven't started yet.
No, Bastian Buse, who's just come up, he's in 13th place, and you think 13th is a long way back. He's at the back of that queue. He unfortunately had a DQ from race 1 at Spa due to the car failing a weight check, but finished 8th in both the races on the track, and he's joined the back of that queue and will be looking to improve on that 13th place.
While you've been talking about that, Bastian Buse is on a mission here. He's got past Jesse Van Koik and also Grenefeld. Out goes Luke Hartog. What a shame. What a great shame. He was doing such a great job. Luke Hartog then has lost the back end of the car. He's on the grass. Now, can he recover from there? I hope so. But that has cost him dearly. Yes, he gets the car running again.
Oh, what a shame.
That's hotel turn, isn't it?
It is hotel turn. It has caught many people out over the years. It continues to do so. Luke Hartog, he was mixing it with the big guys. You can see here he just goes wide into the corner. He gets out onto the dirt that's there already.
He's a passenger then, isn't he?
Absolutely. He kept the engine running, and, well, at least he got it running and has got moving, so we don't need a safety car. but that is such a shame because he was up in 5th place looking to get his best ever result in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany to add to his 7th and 9th that he got at Spa, but sadly that is not going to happen this afternoon. He's going to have to wait till tomorrow to have another pop at that one. So Luke Hartog pointing in the wrong direction, he rejoins but is now at the back of the pack, and it's Leon Köhler who takes that position away.
Do you know what? I've known Larry Tenvorder since he was racing long before he came into the Carrera Cup. He was in the Sports Cup with Porsche. I don't think he's got anything to offer Ayan Guven here. I think Guven's doing a great job. We're on board with Lauren Heinrich. I love this splitter cam. This splitter cam position down on the splitter of the car. He's running in P3 at the moment. By default, I don't think he's got anything to take to Larry Tenvorder either.
Yeah.
So the top 3 are kind of all gapped, aren't they? And actually, none of them are troubling any others.
Here we go.
And,
there's the leaders there, the first 3. I have to say that Heinrich is keeping them within sight, and I think pre-season we all thought there was going to be a Heinrich versus Tenvorder championship. Of course, Ayan Guven really has come into this and is looking very competitive as well. And Guven, who had a fairly poor time by his standards, Spa, he picked up a P4 and didn't finish in the first race. So he's got a bit of catching up to do in the championship. Our leading junior driver now is Maurice Schering in P5. That's as a result of Luke Hartog spinning out. And our leading Pro-Am driver is Carlos Rivas. He's 18th. And about 3 seconds, a little under 3 seconds behind him is Jan-Erik Sluten. He's 19th on the track, and that is for the Pro-Am category.
Brian, these 3 are something like 12 seconds up the road from Leon Köhler, who we see rounding the final turn.
Oh,
Rudy Van Buren and Van Splinteren. Here comes Junker Honkavori. Now Junker has been very, very clever here. He's been picking up pieces as others battle ahead of him.
But look who's behind, Bastian Buss. He's the man who is on a mission as well. He is the Benelux champion, I think. Just checking up on that. And no, he's not the Benelux champion, I beg your pardon, that was Luke Hartog, but he is coming through and he is a real charger, getting stuck in. But as you say, Yuka Honkavori and Rudy Van Buren are just picking up the pieces when other people fall by the wayside.
So that all being led at the moment. Rudy Van Buren, as you quite rightly say, bit of a charger. The number 10 car of Sandro Kaibach that we could see. Now this putting a real pressure on Bastien Buse then on Yuka Honkavori. Honkavori is having to attack and defend at the same time. He's got Max Van Splinteren ahead of him, and he has got Bastien Buse behind him. So Yuka Honkavori stuck in the middle there in that P10 position. And we've got merely 7.5 minutes of this extraordinary Carrera Cup race to come, which has been all about the battles off the podium, to be honest, so far.
It really has. And it's interesting how Rudy Van Buren has just broken away a little bit and got a bit of space. I'm still keeping my eye on that number 99 car because he has been a man on a mission, currently lying in P11. And he started down in P16, so he's done a lot of hard work already. And again, we have to remind ourselves these cars are identical. And I know I keep repeating that, but it's not easy to pass. And having spoken to several Porsche drivers over the years, you realise that you can't just launch yourself past one of these cars because they are identical. Here comes Leon Köhler around the corner with Maurice Schering, and Schering coming under pressure from Christopher Zirkling, and Schering in 5th. Zirkling in 6th, and Köhler looking to be reasonably secure in that 4th place at the moment.
Julian Hanses running in P7 there. Under real pressure is the number 41 car of Yuka Honkavori, who gets a wake-up love tap from Bastien Buse right behind. Not that he probably needed that. Max Van Splinteren, and there is Honkavori. There is the number 99 car of Bastien Buse then. This is brilliant racing from the Carrera Cup Germany. We absolutely love it. And I'm reminded of various Carrera Cup drivers that I have talked to over the years, and to get the maximum out of these cars. And of course, we're into another version of this fantastic Carrera Cup car this year, Brian.
Yeah.
I've always been told you have to absolutely, these are such a mechanical car, you've got to wring the neck out of them to get the best out of them.
Here he comes, Bastian Buss on the inside of Yuka Hunkavori.
Brilliant overtake.
Big gap on the inside, and Hunkavori was just there for the kill, really, wasn't he? And Bastian Buss straight through, but now Hunkavori looking to come back, but Bastian Buss weaving slightly into the corner. Watch out, the stewards are watching you. Ahead of him, Max van Splunteren. Can Bastian Buss put any pressure on Max van Splunteren with just a little over 5 minutes of this race left?
So the order is Ayan-Chan Guven from Larry Tenforder, Lauren Heinrich, then it's Leon Köhler ahead of Maurice Schuring, who is a P5. Here it is in replay. Really opportunistic. The door was left open, Brian. You don't leave that open twice for Bastian.
No, you really don't. Very impressed by these cars. They've had the right act read to them about track limits, because I think the stewards have got fed up with talking about it, and we had so many discounted laps in qualifying. Even in free practice, there were penalties handed out, as Ayan-Chan Guven using a lot of the track, just as I'm talking about track limits, and just going over the line a little bit. But the stewards really have been laying down the law on this. I think they're getting fed up with repeating it year in, year out. Good to see at the moment.
I'll tell you what, mate. Tenforder could be under a bit of pressure from Lauren Heinrich before the end of this race. I know we've only got 4.5 minutes left. Ayan-Chan Guven has checked out. He's up the road. He's ordered his coffee, frankly. And it's Tenforder and Heinrich who are fighting over this P2 position. Now, it could be that Tenforder is just playing with Heinrich. He knows that he hasn't got the pace to get close to Guven. And he's going to bank this P2. But I say Lauren Heinrich is getting closer.
I would wonder whether Tenforder has taken too much out of the tyres, because he really has dropped back significantly. The last couple of laps, he's lost about a second to Guven. And I don't so much think that Heinrich is catching him, as Vorder is falling back into the clutches of Heinrich. And I'm wondering whether he has traction issues. And as you say, Heinrich is now looking like he's in the box seats to possibly take second place away from Tenforder.
Well, Tenforder may be losing pace. He certainly won't lose any of his ability to stick his elbows out and defend that P2 position, that's for sure. So it'll be a big ask for Lauren Heinrich to find a way past, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And look, it is very nearly a month before you see Leon Köhler round a turn. You know, he's in P4. I mean, he, Schuring, Zoechling, Hanses, Van Buren, Van Splunteren, of course, they've all been involved in their own battles, which has just meant the top three have been able to escape up the road. There is Carlos Rivas, who, as you quite rightly said, is the best in the Pro-Am category, and Carlos, hugely experienced, of course, driving for the Black Falcon Team Tech Star, and he sets the fastest lap of 1:28.525. That's a brilliant shot of seeing him hard at work. The focus in the eyes then in the crash helmet of Carlos Rivas.
In fact, Carlos Rivas has got past Jesse Van Koyk, so he's put a bit of space between himself and his nearest challenger in category, which of course is Jan-Erik Sluten, because not only is Van Koyk in the way, but so also is Teixeira, Antonio Teixeira, who is down in 19th place.
So that's a nice cushion, isn't it?
It really is.
There. You're quite right. This is another brilliant camera shot here as we go into the hotel turn. I pity we didn't stay with that to watch the car dive in. So the gap between Tenforder and Heinrich, as we look now at Jan-Erik Sluten, with 2 minutes left to go. Jan-Erik then, who is currently running in this Carrera Cup race.
I love those shots looking back at the driver. You just get the concentration. And oh, there's Luke Hartog, who's trying to work his way back after that earlier spin. He's down in 21st place, and of course that's Jan-Erik Sluten who's with him.
Yeah.
And poor old Luke Hartog, who is the Benelux, the reigning Benelux champion, PCC Benelux, not Bastian Buss, I said earlier. So there we go. We're all learning on this game. So
Bastian would take that.
I'm sure he would. So Luke Hartog, who is very impressive, and just the talent pool drivers that in this year, there's 6 of them, and they are all so impressive. This is the future of GT racing, Porsche racing, and you see them here coming up through the ranks. It's really exciting.
Dropping down the order is Rudy Van Buren, who seems to have dropped a bit of pace now. Julian Hanses running in P7, which is where he has been. Christopher Zoechling ahead on P6 position as we go on board with Lauren Heinrich, who, with just a minute left, I really rather think he's given up on trying to find a way past Ten Vorder, and he's just going to bank the points for P3. This, of course, will add to the 2 P2s that he took from Spa, if memory serves me correctly, which I'm sure it doesn't.
But so far, if we finish as we have finished, his every race has been behind Larry Ten Vorder. But this is Bastian Buss, and he is certainly not content with staying behind Max van Splunteren.
No.
And although there's only 30 seconds of this race left, he is trying to force Max van Splunteren into some kind of mistake. And he will be through like a rat up a drain pipe if he sees a gap. Look at them riding the curbs, as you say, wringing the neck of those Porsches. And behind them is... I'm looking at the car that was directly behind Bastian Buss, Jukka Honkavori, beg your pardon, and he was closing in as well. But Bastian Buss still the man on a mission. Christopher Zirkling in P6, that's your leader though, Ayhan Guven. It looks like he's got a handle on this one because the clock strikes 0. We've got 1 extra lap to run. Larry Ten Vorder 2.4 seconds behind, and Lauren Heinrich has dropped back from Larry Ten Vorder.
Well, what can you say about this fine performance from Ayhan Guven? I'm tempted to say that he did all the hard work in qualifying, but he came here on a mission, in truth, because of the disappointment in Spa with the DNF in race 1 and P4 in race 2, has a point to prove, and the Turkish driver has proven it by becoming the first Turkish driver to put it on pole position in any event in the Carrera Cup, and now by leading this race by 2.5 seconds over, may I say, one of the most dominant Porsche Carrera Cup drivers ever, Larry Ten Vorder.
Yeah. We all were asking as the season started, who can take it to Larry Ten Vorder? Well, the answer is certainly Ayhan Guven, probably Lauren Heinrich, Leon Kohler getting better and better as well, and he's looking to improve on his 4th and 5th place that he scored at Spa, so 4th at the moment, and then Maurice Schuring in 5th place, the junior driver. We're on to the +1 lap of this race, so Ayhan Guven can almost smell that victory now as he starts his final lap of this race.
All he's got to do is keep it between the white lines and do what he's done for the last 30 minutes or so, and hold on to this. But hold on is really doing a disservice to the performance that he has delivered. He's built a gap, a big gap over Larry Ten Vorder, and he's held on to that. 2.5 seconds jolly near between Ayhan Guven and Larry Ten Vorder. Then it's Lauren Heinrich, Leon Kohler, Maurice Schuring, and then Christopher Zirkling, Julian Hanses, Rudy van Buren, Bastian Buss, and Max van Splunteren and Jukka Honkavori. Bastian Buss, incidentally, moving up to P9, having got past Max van Splunteren.
Brilliant stuff. And Carlos Rivas, still the leading Pro-Am driver, up to P17. That's a great going for Carlos Rivas. He is becoming something of a dominant force in the Pro-Am category. You can see Bastian Buss again there, putting the heat on the 2 cars in front of him. That's Julian Hanses and Rudy van Buren there as well. And that's Lucas Gronevelt and Dan Van Koyk.
It's an inter-team battle, isn't it?
I beg your pardon. It was the other of the blue cars, Rudolf Rien. Easy to get them mixed up. So that wasn't Bastian Buss in the blue car. Had me confused. Not too difficult. Here we go. The final corner of this race is Ayhan Guven, who comes out of the final turn. He sees the checkered flag in front of him and takes his first ever win in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. Second across the line, Larry Ten Vorder, holding off Lauren Heinrich. And then we look around the corner to see whether Leon Kohler comes through next in 4th place. And we're still waiting. Such is the gap. Here he comes, Leon Kohler. And then next up the road, it will be Maurice Schuring, Christopher Zirkling and Julian Hanses.
It felt like it was days to wait for Leon Kohler to come around that final turn. Such was the pace that Ayhan Guven, Ten Vorder and Lauren Heinrich had, and it was 10.5 seconds.
I actually thought the timing screens had broken, to be quite honest, because I'm like, when's he coming round? But that was how dominant those top 3 were. There's Ayhan Guven, his first ever win in Porsche Correct Germany.
And may I say, it was a dominant win. It was a really impressive performance.
And if Larry Ten Vorder thought that he was just going to walk away with his championship, he's going to be going to bed with a bit of a headache tonight, because Ayhan Guven is going to be quite the thorn in his side. And Lauren Heinrich, Mr. Consistency, is still there or thereabouts, and he adds to his results from Spa, his 2 second places with a 3rd place. There is our classification after 20 laps. It's Guven from 10 Forder, Heinrich, Kohler, Schuring, Zerkling and Hanses with Rudy van Buren bringing out the top 8. Our leading junior driver in P5, Morris Schuring, great mature drive. Bastian Buss coming back into P9. Max van Splunteren, Jukka Hunkavori, Lucas Grunewald, Dan van Koyk, Rudolf Rien in the very similar looking car to Bastian Buss, Sandra Kaibach and Fabio Cignola, Carlos Rivas winning the Pro-Am category ahead of Luke Hartog after that spin, Jesse van Koyk in 19th ahead of Antonio Teixeira, Jan-Erik Sluten, Kim Hauschild, Bashar Mardini, Sebastian Glazer, and then the final 3, Christoph Langer, Ahmad Al-Shahab, who's had a weekend he'd probably want to forget at the moment, but he's still got another race to go, and Georgi Donchev.
Great stuff from Carrera Cup Germany. The cars and the drivers heading into the Parc Ferme area through the very narrow pit in. And just passed on TV compounder. Just want to mention that to give you some local knowledge here in Oschersleben.
You always feel the ground shaking.
Yes. Chan Guven then really has impressed me today. Very assured drive and steadfast.
Well, he's the first Turkish driver to sit on pole position, I believe. He's going to be the first ever Turkish driver to win a Porsche Carrera Cup Germany race. Larry 10 Forder, you did wonder at the start of Spa whether he was just going to win every race, but Guven really has given him quite the headache, because ultimately he had nothing for Guven today, did he?
No. And I think what also impressed me about Iron Chan was the fact that not only did he put it on P1 for qualifying, but he also had one of the more difficult things to do, and that was how he started the race, because he was starting the race after a safety car, which is never a given. And he just did a great job. Great to see that 10 Forder was among the very first though to go and congratulate him. Great camaraderie in the Carrera Cup. Germany.
You know you've had a good race when you're disappointed to finish second, and I'm sure Larry 10 Forder is. I was just looking at my stats from last year, and Larry 10 Forder finished on the podium in every single race last year. That is the strength of that man, and he's not going to make it easy for Ayhan Şengün tomorrow.
It was at this very track where Larry 10 Forder actually joined me on the air. Clearly not for a Carrera Cup race, because he would have been racing in that, but for one of the other races he joined me on the air, and he's a jolly good talker as well, to be honest.
He still talks about that now, you know.
Oh really?
Well, one of my early races I sat down in Porsche Hospitality,
as you do.
and he sat down at the table, and I said, "Oh, who are you?" And he says, "I'm Larry 10 Forder." And I'm like, "Oh, I feel really stupid."
That must have been a few years ago now.
And then I said, "Oh, your season you were dominant, and then it's gone off the boil. What happened?" And he said, "If I knew the answer to that, I'd be rich." At that point, I was kind of ready to crawl under the table and hide, to be quite honest. But he did mention you and joining you on air. I should just point that out. There's Ayhan Şengün's car.
I hope with a degree more positivity than he'll talk about you after that little incident.
Yes, well, I haven't spoken to him since because I'm too embarrassed.
He's a lovely guy, and actually does quite a bit of coaching as well to other drivers. Here, then, the driver classification and the confirmation of that. 10 Forder from Heinrich from Zöchling. From Guven in terms of the points, because it's 70 playing 56, playing 42, playing 38. Ayhan Şengün then on 38 points. Julian Hanses P9, the rest of the points as you can see, and those points all going into the race tomorrow. That's the way the drivers are looking. They are currently being weighed, then they'll make the sprint up towards the podium. They've got it all to do again tomorrow, and weather predictions for tomorrow similar to today.
Yeah.
And it threw a real curveball at the start of the race, of course, because it was very damp in certain patches. What a dominant drive from this man! Put it on pole position and then delivered a fantastic, steadfast win. Ayhan Şengün, well done, P1.
Second across the line, Larry 10 Forder in the number 25 car for Team GP Elite, with Lauren Heinrich in the Van Berger Huber racing car in third place. But Ayhan Şengün, he is going to be delighted with that. This was won on merit. He didn't fluke it.
Sure.
He put it on pole position and he won from the front. And I think we can declare that Ayhancan Guven really has arrived.
I would tend to agree with that.
So into Parc Fermé they come, and congratulations from Iron Force Racing.
That wasn't very kind.
No press. That's what I do when I go down the street.
Yeah, of course. The Brian Oliver Fan Club, to which you, of course, could be a member. I'll give you all the details for joining in due course. Meantime, we just await those drivers to head up to the podium. We'll bring the podium ceremony, we hope, in full. We think we've got time for that. But a very good Carrera Cup Germany Race 1 here in Oschersleben, and we're looking forward to Race 2. Ironically, the sun is shining now as I look out the back door here in our tempted to say TV studio.
Box.
Yes, there you can see the podium being readied and the truly brilliant Burkhard Bechtel who will bring him out onto the podium. And there's Ernst Moser from Phoenix Racing. There is Larry Tenforder.
And second step of the podium, considered to be a fail for him. And that really says something about what level he's at. But
yes.
For the top step of the podium, Ayhancan Guven taking his first ever win in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany.
Da kam das Zeichen. Das Feuerapplaus, ja genau. Ich finde so wunderschön.
So Ernst Moser applauds. And sadly here at Oschersleben there are no spectators because of the COVID situation, but the team's still making plenty of noise.
We want to do at this juncture is say, whilst there are no spectators, of course we are so thrilled that you're watching and enjoying this, and we of course are just delighted to be back racing again following the awful pandemic. And wherever you are, wherever you're watching and listening to us, we hope you're well and we hope you're safe. And I have optimism that we are coming out of the worst of it, and I so hope that is the case. But that's as much as I'm going to say about that. But well done to our top three then, as they will celebrate now in the time-honoured tradition of making a complete Horlicks of opening the sparkling stuff.
And a representative from Phoenix Racing as well, who accepts a trophy for the winning team. And that wasn't quite the explosion of champagne that we've come to know and love, really, was it? I think they're all probably just tired and want to go and have a sit down.
Larry's having a good old slug of it, that's for sure. And of course, another race to come tomorrow from this fantastic circuit here. 3.667 kilometres, Oschersleben, 7 left, 7 right-handers, in case you're into the statistics of the track. And here we can see the highlights. And from Brian and myself, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you for race 2 tomorrow. Bye-bye.